So I. This side. That's where
Yeah, right, yeah.
But that's why it's good. That's just what they.
Yeah. But no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I've experienced people that have personal experience, like having people come outside of the area, you know, like from a whole nother city.
Yeah.
And buy properties.
It's your republic, which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry, can you do a roll call, please?
Mayor Hines,
Present.
Counselor Johnson,
Present.
Counselor Queen,
Present.
Counselor Hendrickson,
Present.
Counselor Jetta,
Present.
Okay, first on the agenda now will be the mayoral update. I just have a few things that I want to touch on. This past weekend started the Woody debris drop-off site. We had a few people come there on both Saturday and Sunday. We'll be doing it again this coming weekend, from 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 on both Saturday and Sunday. And again, the site of that is on Schultz Road. It's 3982 Schultz Road. It's well marked. If you're looking for it, you'll see it. There's one way in, drop off your stuff, and then one way out, very slick. There will be, I've mentioned this before, the Rice Lake Road corridor. We'll be having an open house on Thursday, October 23rd, from 6 until 8. It will be at North Star Academy. Where exactly is that, Tony?
that is the one down Rice Lake Road. Right by the old United Healthcare building, right before you get to Arrowhead Road.
Okay.
Fucking dog like
The school.
Yeah, there's a stoplight there, the newer stoplight that they put in.
Okay, okay. So anyway, I would encourage everyone to attend that has any interest in the project that will be starting hopefully 2027. If you have any input to give or information to gather, that'll be the place to do it. There will be also information on our website, on our bulletin board, so you can look there as well. One of the things since our last meeting that has come up, by residents are some questions pertaining to the fire department. And I have information on my Facebook page. Chief Meany wrote a very, very nice informational piece on that. I did place that on my Facebook page because he did it much better than I could. But just to summarize a little bit, it will be attached to the meeting minutes today, so you will also be able to read the full thing. Take your time, go through it. Basically, there were some questions about what kind of fire engine we are getting. There was a lot of concern that we were purchasing a ladder truck, which we have no need for currently. And this is not a ladder truck. It is a fire engine, and it is intended to replace an engine that will be over 30 years old by the time we get this one. And just to clarify how old that is, typically fire departments will only keep an engine as its primary engine for 15 years. They then will maybe keep it on for another 10 as a backup. We don't have backups. We only have primaries. So by the time we get our new engine, we will be well overdue for a new engine. So this isn't an option. This is something we have to do. It is something we've been planning for several years. We knew this was coming up. How we're gonna pay for it, we're not quite sure yet. But we can't really make plans today for how our finances are going to look in 3 years. So we have some ideas. We will be monitoring that, but it is definitely in our minds as we are preparing budgets And we will certainly be quite open about it as the time gets closer that we need to pay for it. There were some questions about staffing. Right now, we are an all volunteer force. We have no plans to change that in the near future. We know that other cities in the area, have maybe a half and half model, some volunteers, some full-time or not, full-time or paid anyway. We are not at that point, and, I don't see it in the near future. But certainly it's something that we will be evaluating as time goes on, as we grow, as our needs change. But at this time, we are totally volunteer and plan on remaining so for quite some time. Oh, the stipends that we give to our firefighters, that does not qualify as payment. It does not make them staff. It does not change their classification as volunteer because it's a very minimal amount of money and certainly doesn't come close to giving them anything that you would consider a wage when you compare it to the hours that they put in voluntarily. So I guess that kind of summed it up.
Just a point of clarification that, staff versus employee, we are staff. We're not
We're staff.
employee.
Correct, you're correct. Yes, not employee. And then one last thing, just a little snippet of information that we got from the Mayo Clinic Health System. There are a lot of volunteer opportunities in our community and in areas surrounding. And there are 3 health benefits that you gain from volunteering. It improves physical and mental health, provides a sense of purpose and teaches valuable skills, and also nurtures new and existing relationships. So again, if you're not happy with the way things are going in our community, go ahead and volunteer. It'll be good for you, it'll be good for the community. And that's all I have as my update. So we'll move on to public discussion. This is for any items not listed on the agenda. Discussion is limited to 3 minutes per presenter. Please approach the podium, give your name and your address, and let us know what you are thinking. Anybody want public comment today? One last chance? Okay, we'll move on. Consent agenda. Tonight's consent agenda consists of minutes from 4 meetings: the July 7th finance meeting, the August 11th budget meeting, the August 25th budget meeting, and the August 25th council. Then it also includes executed claims from August 26th, 2025 to September 8th, 2025, totaling $177,045.16. Council, I will assume you have all had a chance to look at this, so I'll ask for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Councillor Hendrickson made the motion, Councillor Johnson seconded it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Consent agenda passes. Department reports, financial report, Tony?
For the month ending August 31st, 2025, in our Franzen checking account, we have $2,663,209.94. In RBC investments, we have $1,622,328.05. For total combined cash of $4,285,537.99. Again, just kind of as a reminder, we get our first half of apportionment in July, so we're kind of at the high point now of our cash flow, and that will dwindle until we get to December, where we get the second half of our apportionment.
Building and zoning report.
Great. In August, we had one administrative land split, one change of use, one commercial foundation only permit, one residential deck, one residential demolition, 3 detached garages less than 1,200 square feet, 2 detached garages greater than 1,200 square feet, 1 residential home addition, 1 residential mechanical permit, 2 plumbing, 7 over-the-counter permits, 1 new home, and 1 variant. Total valuation, $823,065. Total fees collected, $9,242.15.
Okay. 7.3 is animal control. Harley?
Right, the first 2 on here were on the last month as well. We just haven't been billed yet, so I have to keep them on there until we get billed for them. Otherwise, August was kind of busy, multiple cats. We had a dog that was, posing a nuisance. That dog was brought into Animal Allies and was, reclaimed by their owner. And that owner has been sent a fine. We haven't received any correspondence from them. And then a dog barking complaint and, an ongoing issue with the dog on Rice Lake Road. Running at large. I spoke to that owner last week and hopefully they've got some good solutions in place to keep the dog and motorists safe.
You know, we don't see many barking dog issues on this. What are our rules regarding dog barking?
Be considered a nuisance, it has to be ongoing barking for more than 5 minutes without a 30-second break. So we just don't get a lot of calls about them, and when we do, I generally do send out letters. There's been years where we've had more, and we've sent out letters, and then we don't hear, don't really get any further information on it, so, I assume the problem resolves itself, or they just stop calling, I'm not sure.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah.
I will say too, in the past, I know Jessica had gone out to the places and tried to listen for it, but obviously the dog's not gonna bark on cue, so we have told people to, if it is a constant problem, to record it and send it to us, and then we can do something, but otherwise, yeah, it's just kind of a informational letter that we send out, so people are aware what constitutes it and what the fines could be.
Okay, thank you.
I have just a question about the cats. Are these feral cats or are these pets or does anybody know?
We don't really get a lot of information. I suspect they're feral, probably a result of someone's pet, at some point being let loose. And becomes an ongoing problem. We tend to see the same areas where there are multiple collected throughout the summer. I don't know if we didn't have Animal Allies for a couple of years, so, but as I understand it from my conversations with them, is they were still getting them. And they had a hard time turning them away, so.
I know several years ago, there was quite a few feral cats in the Calvert Road areas. Is this where some of these were?
West Calvary Road, I've seen more so this year. And then West Tisher Road. I haven't seen Calvary, I don't think this year. And we don't regulate cats, so there's no fining or anything like that, and Animal Allies requires that if they're going to take dogs, they also take cats, so, there's no recourse for doing anything about the cat problem, as of right now.
Do you think it's enough of a problem? We should take a look at that.
I've thought about that. Honestly, I haven't been able to come up with a realistic solution, even with the dogs. it's hard to collect the fines because even if someone does come forward and reclaims their animal, then we can, potentially set fines, but these cats aren't being reclaimed. So
Yeah, yeah.
the way I see it, in my opinion, the city is still doing the right thing, by utilizing the services of Animal Allies. Yes, it's a cost, but at least then these animals are getting fixed and reducing the problem, and hopefully over time it resolves a bit. It's better than doing nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, any other questions? 7.4, Public Works.
So we'll start with road maintenance for August. During August, the primary objective was to complete ditching work on Rabine Road in West Nelson in preparation for gravel spreading that was scheduled for September. Unfortunately, some of these items didn't quite get completed. Mainly due because we had some staffing shortages resulting in some employees being sick, and another one was a very unfortunate circumstance. As of September 4th, 2 additional days of work remain on Rabine Road. Following this, efforts will switch over to West Nelson Road to complete as much ditching as possible prior to transitioning to Fair Road for asphalt removal. Approximately 400 feet of asphalt will be removed, after which focus will turn to preparing the road base for new asphalt installation. Once the asphalt removal and base preparation are under control, one of the roads employees will be reassigned to begin the gravel spreading operation on both Rabine and West Nelson Road. Standard park maintenance activities have been happening throughout August without any incident. Utilities preparation continues in August for the installation of the 5 new generators. The dirt work has been completed and the forms and rebar have been placed in readiness for the concrete pads to be poured. Weather permitting, the concrete pours are scheduled for the week of September 8th, and that's possibly going to get pushed out a little bit farther as of now from when I made this report.
Any questions for Shane? Fire department.
For the month of August, we had 28 calls for service, 21 medicals, 2 outside fire checks, 2 carbon monoxide alarms, 1 vehicle accident, 1 lift assist, and then 1 vehicle fire. We had the fire department para actuarial report come through, and what it shows is a funding ratio of 128.29%, which is an increase of 17% surplus in funding from the previous year. And that requires no contribution going into 2026. And then August, we focused on a lot of our equipment maintenance. Pump testing was completed on engine 1, engine 2, and tender 3. All trucks passed their respective tests and were certified. 22 SCBAs, 1 RIP pack, and 35 base pieces were all flow tested and serviced. All that equipment passed and was certified for service. And then 21 air bottles were also hydro tested, and that passed inspection and recertified for service as well.
Questions? Sheriff's report.
In August, we had a total of 204 law enforcement contacts in Rice Lake, 45 of which being traffic stops, 1 accident with minor injuries. And then I had 19 medicals, but obviously I might have been off by 1 or 2 there. I think that's probably 21.
All right. Thank you. Right, moving on to new business. We have 8.1, which is resolution 25-26, accepting donations for the Veterans Memorial. Tony, do we need to do anything in particular here other than vote it?
I think just voting unless you have questions on anything.
Questions? Any questions from the audience? And then I will take a motion to accept resolution 2526, accepting donations.
I'll make a,
Wait, good question. Can Councillor Johnson vote on this?
so,
Yeah, you guys are.
Oh, and, sorry, that's right, there are two of them.
we're voting on giving it one.
I believe it's only if they would get financial benefits.
Correct, yes.
So yes, you can vote. You can give money away anytime you get it. Okay, I'll take a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 25-26.
Counselor Jetka has made the motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Counselor Hendrickson has seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes. Then we have 9.2. Oh, no, we're still back on 8. Discussion of meeting minutes. What should be in the minutes? And Tony, I believe you brought this forward.
I did, yes. I know there was some discussion about, what should be in the minutes. Why isn't there more detail in the minutes? And there was something too that was put in the box that was asking. I think it was in reference to having the videos on that the minutes seem kind of vague. So just kind of wanted to go over, what is required by state statute. So the things that are listed as required contents are actually listed in statute as what has to be in the minutes. The point two, the other items that should be in the minutes is the opinion of the state auditor based on years of reviewing minutes and probably having to go back to find out a little more information on what was decided. So, just wanted to kind of go over what should be in there and then just as a summary of the making a good record. It's important to make a good record of council decisions and of the factual information of which council members base their decisions. Minutes are the primary record of the decision-making process and are critical if council actions are challenged. So again, the council meeting are for council actions, so the minutes only record the council actions, not necessarily all of the other discussions that take place from the public or staff or whoever may make comments at the council meetings. So that is usually what's included in the minutes. It's the decisions that were made and some background as to why that decision was made.
Just kind of a sidebar off of this, where are we at with getting our meetings videoed and on the net?
I did create a YouTube channel for us and I've uploaded our first video on there. It is set to private right now. I just haven't had enough time to kind of test it to make sure it functions properly. But yeah, I'm hoping to get those added on there. And with Carly helping me out here at the meetings, part of the issue was I usually start the recordings 10 minutes prior to the meeting starting, so I don't forget to do it. So just trying to get the first 10 minutes taken out, so it's actually when the meeting starts and when it adjourns is what I'll be working on now to get the rest of those up.
So my goal of having it by the end of the year, we're gonna meet that, correct?
We should, yes. I don't know right now how far back we have them. How far back would you like me to go in 2025?
How much work would it be per meeting to do this?
I think once I figure it out, it probably won't be too bad, but figuring out how to edit videos and then the upload takes a little while because they are lengthy videos. I figured I'd kind of start current and
Yeah.
then I can just work my way back.
What do the rest of you think?
I would say just let's work on the current and then when you have time in the coming months, maybe you can just keep adding some of these ones, but I know you're busy up in the office. So.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it'd be good to get them all up there eventually for the year, so.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to first readings. 9.1 is the 2026 preliminary budget. You all had a chance to take a look at this? I mean, I know we talked about it in budget meetings. But have you had a chance to review what the report just put together here?
It's very similar to what we've been chatting about.
Tony, do you have anything that you want to bring us through on this?
There's just one thing that I wanted to know with council, because we were having discussion in particular about, you wouldn't mind scrolling down to the back to the last page, the fire turnout gear. 28 some thousand that, we were looking at levying in 26. We had discussed moving that to LGA, so I did actually do that here, just so that you're aware that that's what puts the levy increase at 8.23%.
And that 8.23%, we can still go down
Right, yep.
as well, I'm sure.
Yep.
You understand that, that's not. I've been working with Tony and Shane with the road budget, and we do have room in there to move it down, but we want to see how the year unfolds. But I believe our levy increase will probably be less than what's stated, but that's what we're all working for.
Just so that you are aware, we have to submit this to the state by the end of this month, by the end of September. And at that point, we have an approximate levy. That's as high as we can possibly go. Before we submitted our final draft in December, we will talk about various things that we could do to possibly lower it more. And certainly we can't promise we're going to do that, but I can say in the 6 years that I've been on council, we always have. So although we're saying it's gonna be a little more than an 8% levy, more than likely it will not be that high. And it's our intent because we all get hit with it too. We wanna keep the levy as low as we can and still keep our city functioning and provide the services to the caliber that you expect. So,
What's kind of been a normal increase over the years?
it's varied. We've done, I think the lowest we've done is, since I've been here, 2.5. And I think the highest has been 5. Am I about right
I
there?
think so, yeah.
Averages around 3.5 or so.
Yeah.
So we'll have a little work to do once this comes back, more than likely.
But at our last budget meeting, we did
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
various things that we could do to decrease. So
Are we allowed to ask a question?
certainly.
Do you want me to go in there? Claudia Cordy, 4010 West Elder Lane. I was looking at the public works deduction, and I was at one of your meetings where you took it out of there and it lowered it. Now, is that the same public works addition that they were talking about? It's gotta be over a year ago at a meeting that they're gonna try to get bond for. Because it was a lot of money and we were going to try to get, I mean, a grant or something from the state for it.
I think the only thing in that regard, and I could be wrong, was the public work expansion that we wanted to.
Okay, so that's a different,
That's a different thing.
okay, this is just a little addition then? On the
Well-
public works there.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about is the public works edition that we completed, is that?
Well, it was a lot of, it was like millions of dollars.
Yes.
And,
Yep.
the council said, we're not gonna put that burden on the taxpayers, we're going to get the grant. So I was confused if that was part of it or,
That is not in our budget at all.
okay,
Right,
thank you.
because we're using LGA money to pay the bond payment, I think is what
Okay,
Sylvia,
for the addition that we did before.
correct.
Well, I thought there was a future edition they wanted to do, and they said, we won't do it unless we do get.
There is. Yeah, we will
You
not.
guys were there, I don't know you were, Jane.
That particular issue, if we don't get grant funds, it will not move forward.
That's.
Because we
what
are
I'm
talking millions and there's no way Rice can afford that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments on the budget?
Can you clarify that again? Conversation, with
Which one?
Public Works, because
That's the fire department and the expansion that we want to do to turn it into.
you know, Sylvia was talking Public Works. I just want to make sure that we all understand Public Works is done, Bill. There's no
Yeah.
more
What's
addition.
that 68,000 for?
Oh.
I guess.
It's that 68,000 that Mark brought up, just shipped over to LGA for the first edition.
Yeah.
So there's no more additions for Public Works at
That's for the
Yeah, we're
the old.
edition you already put on.
good.
Yes,
Okay, now it's right out here.
yes.
That particular one is for the utility edition,
Correct.
not the road edition. So we have two bonds right now for the Public Works building.
Yes.
One for the utility edition, which is that 68,000 that's listed on the debt levy.
Uh-huh.
The other one is,
And that's already done.
yes.
Yeah.
Construction is completed.
Yeah,
Correct.
Whatever.
The second addition to the, I think the road side of the Public Works building.
The big part.
Yep. That one we have a bond on as well. We are currently using LGA money to make those bond payments. Yes. So it's public safety campus.
That's it.
Still
Public
referencing.
safety. That's the $1 million one that we will not do if we don't get grants.
I knew it was a thing.
And I think the confusion came from, because we had talked about shifting this over to LGA in that budget meeting.
Yeah, cause
You might
you
have
said
seen
take
it
that out
go
of
away.
there and then it dropped the levy a lot.
Right. And we're still holding that as an option.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Right. Then let's move on to appointment resolution. And this has to do with council positions. As we've spoken to before, all of us have other jobs other than just being counselor or mayor to keep things running smoothly. With new people on council, we need to take a look at this and make sure things are evenly spread out. So we need acting mayor, which Councilor Quaid, we voted on that one already, right?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, Councilor Quaid has agreed to do.
I think the ones in green are the ones that have already
That
been.
have already been voted.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah,
And then Counselor Hendrickson and I are on board of adjustment. Counselor Hendrickson is also on the airport board of adjustment. With the resignation of John Hegstrom, we also now need someone on the joint airport zoning board. And it's my understanding there isn't a lot of activity going on with this right now. So it would just be in the future if something comes up again.
correct.
So you can volunteer for this and it's not gonna take up a whole lot of time. Let's go through them all and then you can kind of talk about who wants to do what. We also need Public Works Liaison Supervisor. Counselor Hendrickson is one. Counselor Hegstrom was another, so we need to fill one slot there. Human Resources Supervisor, Mayor Hrsted was one, I was the other. So we will need to get another person on the Human Resources Committee. Fire Department Liaison is Counselor Quaid and myself. Planning Commission liaison was, Mayor Herstead, so that will need to be filled. Then we got the NIC liaison, Counselor Quaid, DUA liaison, which is me, and weed inspector, which is Counselor Quaid. I mean, I've been doing a lot of DUA, but if any of you have a strong interest in environmental things, I would certainly be willing to give that up. If you don't, that's fine, because I do. But I don't wanna hog all the fun ones. So, the Joint Airport Zoning Board, who might have interest in that?
I guess you could put me in there, as long as there's nothing to do. Sounds like a good job.
Yeah, I think maybe.
I guess I don't have any assignments right now, so I'll just say that the airport zoning, human resources and planning commission liaison all interested.
Okay.
Would be interested in the public works,
That's a good thing.
seeing that's in the wheelhouse.
Yeah, that's a good fit. I think planning commission would be a good fit. Really, really good fit. Human resources. We have union contract negotiations next year. We also have some new human resource things happening, coming down from the state. Which is one reason I would like to stay on it. I've been on it for 6 years. Counselor Quaid, I know you have a lot of union background. You've been a union member, I think you're pretty much your entire career.
Yes, I was.
And I
And I was active with our local union too.
I think you would bring some real good experience to that. If you would be.
Yeah, I went for that.
Okay, so right now we have Counselor Jecka, who has said he would do the airport zoning board and planning commission liaison. Public Works, Counselor Johnson has volunteered for. Human Resources, Counselor Quaid. I think they all sound good. Does that sound about right to all of you? Do we need to vote on this?
No, I'll put it together in a
And we'll
formal.
vote next time?
Yep.
Okay.
And I keep the lead inspector job.
You notice nobody was jumping up on that.
That's one now.
And I know it jumped on Duak either. It's okay. I do like environmental stuff, so that's right up my alley.
Yeah.
Okay, this I don't believe I'm going to ask for public input. Simply because you can't make us do those things. We have to agree. Okay. 9.3, MSA design for Hedberg Road water valve and water main replacements. Tony?
Sure, so I'll just kind of briefly go over the agenda item report. Currently, the water main on Hedberg Road does not have a main valve that we can shut that line down with. And also it is a 1-inch copper line, which is really not adequate for the 4 homes that are on that road currently. Only 2 of them are connected to the water line. It's kind of one of those that it was a private line that the city took over, but, so it's been on our capital improvement plan for many years now to get a valve installed. The valve would be installed on Martin Road. And then as we were talking internally, we thought it just made sense to kind of do it all, make it all correct, current up to our current specifications. And so MSA has actually done a little bit of preliminary design work on this. I think Joe started it when Joe was with MSA. So we've been working on this one for a while. So what we'd like to do is just have MSA kind of do the final design so we can at least get the design done and then we can decide if we have $200,000 to actually get the project completed. So the cost for the design is $15,200, and then there's also noted in there $2,000 for bidding, so that would come into play if once we decide to move forward with the project. There is a letter in there from MSA kind of explaining what is all entailed with their final design. And we had $5,000 in the water engineering budget for 2025. And I think we have some other monies we can move around from different categories to kind of offset the rest of those costs.
Tony, did we pay some of that engineering already?
We paid for some of it.
Does that show in this estimate invoice?
I don't know for sure. That would be a good question for John. I think that does a little bit play into it.
Hey, John, can you come to the podium and chat with us?
Yeah.
And then I'll bring some history up while he's walking up. There's been at least 2 formal occasions that Rice Lake has hired Daryl Johnson Excavating to actually dig in Martin Road and put this valve in over the past 5 years, which we declined because we were gonna stick a valve in on a 1-inch line, which that is not a suitable fix for this. If we're gonna dig in Martin Road, dig up curves, blacktop, we have to provide a suitable size water line across the road for this project, which is an 8-inch main. So I didn't feel it was right all those years to spend all that money paving curves and put in a valve that is useless. When we have a hole, let's upgrade it and do it right instead of digging it up again 2 years later. That's why that project never got done, because we just kept going back and forth. But I believe John and we worked on a design probably a year ago, and I believe we did pay for it. John will check that. For a partial design. So now this is the full engineering to make it dig ready. And we just need to start inching forward to get this fixed, because if we have a leak over there now, that's an emergency dig in Martin Road. We don't want that. We want to do it right the first time. So that's why we're discussing this. John, can you bring us up to speed on your design and what you plan on doing here?
Sure. So a couple of years ago, we did do a little pre-liminary work on, I think it was $4,500 about to get that kind of laid out. So we had a design that brought it up to, Department of Health standards for a water main extension. I think what we do is we dig a hole where we want to put in a valve. It may not be exactly where that water line runs right now, but it'd be close. And then we would, it would be bored under Martin Road, because the county's not gonna let us dig up the whole road. And then we extend it all the way to the end of, Haybird and, the hydrant there. And then stub out 4 services to each of the parcels. That's kind of it in a nutshell. And we may look at a second valve so that we can isolate that line and isolate the main line running parallel with Martin as well. We'll look into that to see if it makes sense to, make some segments within there. That's a minor change.
Question, what issues are we having with the current one? What are these health and safety standards, like what are the potential negative effects of just 1-inch copper lines? Are they having low water pressure, or help me understand that better?
It's not up to city standards to have a 1-inch line serving multiple houses. If it breaks, we're gonna do a repair, fix it, and then we're gonna go back and spend money on upgrading it, because it's still not ready with the repair. So we're trying to get in front of it and trying to get all our city infrastructure up to par.
It's also. It's 5 feet to the, and there's no hydro pack or current. We do that too.
This is one of those projects that was winged, probably not approved as, hey, you can do this. We don't allow that anymore moving forward. So we'd like to clean up some of the past stuff.
Is this something? I mean, we're looking to see if we want to do this in the actual project in 2026. Is this something that's being considered in our budget?
What we're thinking is get the engineering done and seeing what we get from St. Paul and then that funding. So we're ready, we gotta have John get all of the engineering.
That makes
So
sense.
we're not approving the whole project.
Right.
We get engineering.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
So this would be fully approved and ready for bidding.
Mhm. Mhm. Any other questions for John? Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments from the audience?
Where is Hedberg? Where does that come on? Oh, Tara Elshire, 48 tour. Hedberg is winter. In relation to.
It's right off Martin Road, I believe. Is that west at First?
It's right in.
Right between Spring.
Yeah, on the north side.
Okay.
Okay.
East side.
From my recollection, I think I'm wrong, but you can't go off, you can't parcel off anything less than a 2-inch line. Isn't that what you taught me? When we did
That
the
was sewer.
just sewer. So this is water sourcing, this isn't sewer.
No, this.
Okay. So this wouldn't, okay, this is just improving the flow to, not a combination of municipalities coming from. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, is it just a one-line deal or is it both? Is this water and sewer or is this
Water.
just water? Okay. Okay.
That's a little dead end road that's just east of the firehouse, going north.
Okay.
Yeah, I know I've seen that picture where it goes. Anyone else? Okay. All right, this was just a first reading, so nothing we are going to vote on tonight. Unfinished business, employee recognition policy. We will be voting on this tonight. So this is the policy that we discussed in our last meeting. It's just kind of written down now in total policy form. We had a chance to review it. So I will take a motion and a second, and then we will have discussion. I agree, motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the employee recognition policy.
Counselor Johnson has made the motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Counselor Quaid is second. Discussion.
I'd like to be recognized employees for service, so. You like this laid out here.
Counselor Jeff.
I just want to say that in the short time I've been here and interacting with the employees, I've realized that they're really wearing a lot of different hats and they're doing a lot. They're really going above and beyond. I appreciate that, and I think this is very awesome.
I do as well. Any comments from the audience? This is the policy we talked about at our last meeting. Basically, we'll acknowledge retirements, we'll acknowledge length of service when somebody quits if they've been here over 10 years. annual holiday party, quarterly luncheons, that type of thing. You were here last meeting. We had a pretty long discussion about it. Okay. So no comments? Reasonable.
It should just make for better
Yeah.
corporate culture.
Yes,
You're gonna-
long overdue. Okay, we have a motion in a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Security camera policy. We had conversation on this last time too. Have you had the chance to read this? Okay. Then again, I'll take a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the security camera policy.
Councilor Quaid has made the motion. Will you second?
I'll second.
Whoa. You guys not gonna discuss it?
It's after.
After the motion. Yeah. Councilor Johnson has seconded. We will discuss now.
Motion.
Councilor Quaid motion, Councilor Johnson seconded.
Thank you.
Okay, now we will discuss.
I guess I just have a quick question about this format for the motion before. Let's say we discussed this and we made a change, do we then re-motion or? How does that-
Then we will vote and it'll be voted down and we'll take a new motion.
My only concern with this as written, I guess, is the retention and storage. Discussed it some with Tony. I just want to be sure that if a resident puts in a data request, that our staff has enough time to process that without, feeling rushed and review it for personal information, like Tony explained at the last one, and then get it out to the person. There's a technical limitation on that, right? We don't have unlimited storage for video. So it sounds like we're around 20-ish, 22 days.
Yeah.
Seems like, so. That's my only concern. I would be in favor of changing it to maybe 15 and 20 days. But I'm open to hearing what other people think.
I have the same concern. If someone puts in a request, it's my understanding you could save it then.
Yeah.
So we would not lose it, even if you don't have the time in that period
Correct, yeah,
to review it.
Yeah.
If it takes you 30 days to get to it, you could.
correct, yeah, that.
So we're not gonna lose it if there's concern about it.
That's what I think, like, if there is a data request on that, it should be saved at that point until we can look through that, or whoever's looking through that. So I don't know if we need to reword this a little bit.
To indicate that that will happen.
Yeah,
I got that, just so that it's clear when people look at it.
Even if we just added, maybe overwritten unless, so like required for criminal or city investigations, like add in or subject to a data request or something like that on that part, just to clarify.
Does that make sense to you? Sure. Everybody agree with that? Okay.
Mayor,
Yes,
under the use and disclosure of video records, access restrictions, I have access currently, however, fire chief is not listed as a person in this policy. Whether my access be restricted or removed or else added to this.
okay. So you have full access right now
To the cameras, yeah.
to the camera? Do you find that you need full access or with fire department or?
If equipment goes missing for whatever reason, that's the point of this, right? So,
He has it for the fire department.
Correct.
Building only,
Oh,
not for.
correct.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
Three
this is different
locations.
than.
oh, absolutely, you would need that.
Okay.
I mean, we do list authorized personnel in there. Access limited to city administrator, public works supervisor, city council, or authorized personnel. Do we want to add fire chief into that list or let them fall within the authorized personnel?
I don't see any authorized personnel.
Or three,
Neither do I think you uploaded it on. What paragraph are you looking at?
Yeah, under,
Page one, under
system use.
Okay, and then if you went down under that to access restrictions, that's where I'm referencing currently.
Yeah, because you use the phone app to do that,
Correct.
not web-based.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so just a point of clarification, whether added or I removed from accessing.
No, we don't want to remove you from accessing. Cameras at the fire department. No. So maybe add authorized personnel.
It's just mirror the language between the two.
Yeah. Any other discussion from council? Or staff?
Can you explain these custom settings I hear that I have, because I don't know, it's so custom mode.
Sure, so, the system is set up with a few different roles automatically that comes straight from the company. So there's an owner status, which currently I'm the owner of the system. When we originally had it set up, Any Site Solutions was the owner. Should the city choose to no longer do business with Any Site Solution, we would no longer have access to our system. So that's why when we had, Duluth Network add on the additional cameras, he explained this is the way I always set them up, is the owner of the equipment is the owner role in the system. So I'm listed as the owner. IT is listed as a super admin, so they basically have access to just about anything aside from being able to totally disable the system or lock everybody else out of it. And then the custom rules are set up underneath that. So we don't necessarily want all of the other people having access to everything. So we created custom rules. The fire chief has access to the cameras. And I believe the door system. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
Mark? So I think that most of the custom access only includes the cameras and the door system, because this camera system encompasses both access and the security cameras. So the custom rules that were created are considered custom because that's not the way the Unify manufacturers set the system up. So that way we can control if somebody only has view-only access, someone could have access where they can do adding doors, deleting doors, all kinds of different things within there. So
Right now, is that just you?
I believe it's just me, yeah. Me and IT
Mhm.
can do that.
So I'm not getting anything special, because I don't even know how to use them.
No, you have the same access that Shane has, that Mark has.
Okay. Just want to make sure there's no special treatment. To follow that up, can you give us the dates of when you ended my cameras after the end of the year, and then when you started? Do you know those dates? So someone told me that I've had it all the way through when I was gone for 6 months, and I did not have cameras.
Yes, I deactivated you on January 2nd, 2025. Which then restricted your access to anything. And then you were in the system, they use the term created July 7th, 2025.
Crystal clear. So I did not have them during my leave of absence.
You did not.
Thank you.
Who in council does that answer?
Right now, I believe it's just Counselor Johnson. Mayor Hurstead did have access. And hers was deactivated on July 10th.
And John Hagstrom.
Yeah, so I guess technically you guys all have access if you have. You have access,
Key card?
yes, you have access to the doors.
Yeah.
It's all contained in the same system, so it would say you have access, but again, you have a custom role and you only have access to swiping in and out.
But they can have access. The rest of the council and mayor can have access because Mayor Hurstead did. And,
Yeah.
and Councilor Hagstrom. So I would say activate them in case you're at home and someone's calling you guys, hey, Public Works garage doors open. We get these calls. And it's
Yeah.
nice to pull a camera. Yeah, it's open.
Oh, I already got that. I guess I better have access.
I think you all should. This,
Okay.
the fire department, whatever. Yeah, that's what they're there for. Or just go and do what I said last council meeting, take them off the wall and let's move on in the park.
We need to have security cameras.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, before I open it up to public input. Any other conversation?
What did we decide on retention and storage? Are we keeping it with 10 and 15, switching it to 15 and 20?
Where we landed, we're gonna have, it can also be retained if there's the event of a.
I mean-
Okay, with 10 and 15, and then as long as there's the
As long-
addition of
yeah.
the data request.
And I think we'll be tabling this until the final comes back, so we won't be voting on this. It's ready. Okay, any other council questions?
Could we vote on it with the edits approved?
Now, let's get the final product.
Okay. So you got work to do, Tony.
Okay. Public input. Anybody?
Sarah Elsher, 42 Earl Road. First, I want to say thank you to Councilor Jecka, who actually recognized the process of a motion in place that needs to happen again when things are changed. So I appreciate that. When did Suzanne resign? What date was that?
Beginning of July, our first
7th of July.
July 7th.
Okay, so she resigned on the 7th, but Councilor Johnson got put onto the cameras on July 7th. Wouldn't he be just a citizen?
Was appointed June 23rd.
Yeah, I know when he was, but I know what Tony just said. And if she approved him to be there on July 7th, when the previous mayor resigned on July 7th, that's a stinky situation.
I don't see that.
How do you not see a citizen getting access to our cameras and our door locks being given before he's even a counselor?
He was
He was
on council the 23rd.
He was-
Before.
He was appointed on the 23rd.
So I just asked what her resignation was.
And she
Why?
resigned on the 7th.
I replaced, I took her spot. He took,
Okay, so what you're saying is that he was deactivated in January.
Yes,
Is that correct?
yes, January 2nd, when his term was done.
Okay, so when Mike or Pat Miller produces logs, it's going to show that he was deactivated the whole time?
Yes,
Okay, because that is not what has been told to me.
if he provides those records, you'll see that that is the case.
I've been asking for them and I haven't got them. But, also with the save comments, I do have an actual data request that produced somebody else's data request that showed that it wasn't fulfilled, even though that citizen had said, please save these videos. And it was told to me by Tony that she's not gonna waste the taxpayers' money by saving videos. And I'm just confused because if it's so easy and it's one click, and we've proven that before, then why was it so hard to save this person's request? But it potentially be that they're picking and choosing on when data requests are easy or convenient. That's a problem. And as far as the custom settings, there is custom settings, and I don't understand why Counselor Johnson would need custom settings at City Hall if he is in cahoots with Public Works. Wouldn't it make sense for him to be on the Public Works camera and the Public Works store access? Because he wasn't on those, on the logs that I got in my data request. He was only in the City Hall. So does he need a swiper first thing back on council when nobody else has a swiper or access to those videos?
Well, we all have the swiper. That's how we get in.
Yeah, but he was the only one with access to the City Hall security cameras.
None of us have asked for it. Well, I have held today, but prior to that, I hadn't thought of it, so I didn't ask for it.
Okay, so in short, if you can sit there and honestly say that something doesn't smell funny about the security cameras, and now we go from having 22 days to wanting first 7, and then I say that you can't even fulfill a data request in 10, and Mike's the only one that's catching on to the fact that like we need time as a citizen. Like if you catch something and you're like, oh yeah, you could be 3 days into it, then you have a weekend. This is covering tracks and it stinks. And once I get my data request, I will be following up on this topic because there is favors in play and it's obvious.
Well, as far as 10 days or possibly 15, if a data request comes in within that 10-day period, those tapes will be saved. That is what we have agreed on tonight and what we will do.
So you're agreeing with the 10-day minimum?
If you need a data request, I would think, unless you can give me an idea, then I'm not.
I can give you an exact idea. Because CPS was brought to my door based on somebody's evil intentions with access to cameras. And that report wasn't made for an entire month. So yes, I can think of an exact example when there was a meeting on the 23rd of June and then a report made to social services on July 20th. So tell me I don't have an exact example. We are trying to cover up bad behavior, period. This needs to stop.
We've had the conversation.
I don't want to keep getting shut off.
We will talk about it more.
Will we? Because I keep asking for a meeting. It's not happening.
And we.
I keep asking for my data request. I keep getting attitude. It is not fair.
Okay. We're not going to discuss this piece anymore tonight.
Of course,
But you and I will discuss it further.
I would just like for people to recognize the unbelievable stinky situation we have here. That's the nicest way I can put it.
That's enough. That's enough. Thank you.
Don't look at me. I can do whatever I need. So I would like to kind of bring us back to the whole purpose of the security cameras is to enhance the physical security of city property, staff, and residents, not to monitor activity that's going on. But that's all you've ever done. And would you like me to speak to the data request that is certain about? I received an email from a resident asking me to save the videos. It was not a data request. It was just an email saying, hey, can you save these videos? I did not because I told the resident they can submit a data request
Right.
and they chose not to, so.
Okay. And that certainly makes sense. Anyone else?
I just want to clarify, my concern with the retention and storage is more practical. I'm not saying that because I think there's anything nefarious going on.
Thank you for your clarification. Anyone else have?
Yeah, I guess we can. Sylvia Corby, 4210 West Melbourne Road. I just say that, I know Lisa Walsh got up, and she works in data entry and everything. She said there's a kind of a set thing for how many days you should keep that. And I don't know, there was discussion in the last meeting, I was trying to find what she had said, but I think we could probably go back and look at it. But for somebody that has worked in it, what's wrong with say having it for a long period of time?
That's what originally generated my concern, and when I looked into it, sounds like there's just a physical memory limitation to our system. So then it's, the question becomes, is it worth, how much, is it worth spending money on this? And right now, I don't see a big justification for that. But yeah, her comment is what originally led me to question the part of it as well.
Yeah, because the normal in the workforce, whatever, I was just curious about that. And so I appreciate you bringing that up, and I don't know if it save any, or when someone puts in for this request for data request, and they're only saving it for 7 days, and like Tara brought up, what if it's a holiday, the weekend, they don't realize they want it until 3 days into it, then is it just gone? So we can't get it done.
I just think, certainly we can extend it to 2 weeks, not too much more of a difference, but someone should know within a period of 2 weeks that they want to take a look at.
Correct, yeah. 2 weeks, 14 days, right?
Yeah.
Is that 14 business days or 14 days total? Including weekends,
Including weekends.
including weekends. Okay. And it's always a question I ask.
Tony brought up a good point. The security cameras are to provide security to our buildings and our grounds. They're not intended to be monitoring behavior. We have made that decision here. Correct.
That's good to hear.
Relatively recently, but we have made that decision.
Yeah. It wouldn't be good for just someone to go in and say, well, I don't like this person, so I'm gonna really watch and see if I can catch them, probably really hammer them for it.
And that's exactly why we have changed.
Okay, so people that do this have to be trustworthy enough to do the right thing.
Right.
And not,
And I believe, I know not everyone agrees with me, but I believe that our staff are fully trustworthy. But as I say, not everyone agrees with me. To be transparent,
I'm not saying you're not trustworthy, I'm just saying you get too many cooks in the kitchen and then you got a lot of things going on. And to make it clear to the public who does have access to these videos or whatever. So we know what's going on too, because it's confusing for us.
Mhm.
So, okay, thank you.
thank you, Sylvia.
Mayor, I'd like to just make one more comment on the videos, as much as sometimes I don't like them. Last fall in Public Works, we had all the fire alarms go off. And there were a lot of issues, and I was able to turn the cameras on and go down there. And Justin Rosencrantz, I believe one of the trucks was regenerating death, and the whole room was filled with that death smoke, which is, it could kill you. And I think Chief Mimi called, and we all went down there, and I'll tell you, at that moment, those cameras were nice, because I could recognize that's not a false, and I was down there to make sure everybody was there. So I'll say again, I would recommend all of you having that, because you can take that phone call from Chief Mimi tonight. He's just gonna call until he gets somebody. It's a tool in our tool chest.
Yes, you're right. Okay, any additional comments? Well, bring this back to our next meeting and vote on it then. Meeting structure. Second council meeting agenda. Tony, really the only difference in this one, unless I'm missing something, are instead of the various department reports, although there is the utility update report, is the additional council reports to this one. Are there other changes?
No, obviously there isn't a first reading on this one, so. The only difference.
What if something comes up between our first meeting and this meeting that can't wait for a month for first reading? Or does that really not happen?
Then, yeah, then it's all under new business.
Oh, okay. Okay. Any other comments for Councilor on this?
Like the way this is getting set up.
I do too.
Take a little bit to get used to, but
And Tony, I do like to see where motions are necessary. That is helpful. Any further comments on this? Most of you were here at our last meeting when we discussed our meeting agenda for that we adopted this week. Do you have any comments on doing the same for a second meeting with the exception of any council reports? No? Okay, all right. Just councilors, I want to remind you, this will go into place at our next meeting, correct, Tony?
Yeah.
Excellent. That means council reports are to Tony by Thursday before the meeting. If you don't have anything to report, just let her know that. Otherwise, she'll be looking for it. We're not looking for a book or anything, just what you've been doing that the rest of us need to know about. All right, then that is our agenda. I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Someone,
Yeah.